All right, welcome everyone. I'm Christopher Locke. I'm the IBPA Director of Membership and Member Services, and this is our webinar series called the Get to Know Your IBPA Member Benefits webinars. We do these because we have a lot of benefits, and we know that members sometimes want to have a little more in-depth look at how they work. So I'm excited today. We're going to be highlighting the Perfect Bound member benefit, and we have the amazing CEO of Perfect Bound, Keith Riegert. Hello, sir. How are you?
Doing well, thank you.
Awesome. I'm going to disappear, and well, we're very excited to learn more about Perfect Bound.
Thanks, Christopher. So my name is Keith Riegert. In addition to running Perfect Bound as CEO, I'm also the president of the Stable Book Group and CEO of Ulysses Press and Fellow Press Books, all of which are IBPA members in addition. Uh, uh, the entirety of the Stable Book Group also includes She Writes Press and Trafalgar Square Books. So we're a pretty big organization. And this concept of Perfect Bound actually came out of the process of being an independent publisher. So initially, this came about during the pandemic when all of us were struggling to get our books onto printing lines. And for Ulysses, we tended to just work with the same printers over and over again. And we decided to try to expand uh, our partnerships with different printers by creating a two-sided marketplace with heavily vetted printers and vetted publishers on the other side so that it would be easier for us to work together. That project has then expanded dramatically over the last couple of years to include title management, Onyx feeds out to all distributors, a royalty accounting platform, a sales and inventory tracking platform, and then last year we purchased PubMatch from John Malinowski. So we added the ability to sell rights directly through Perfect Bound using the PubMatch marketplace. So I'm going to jump into Perfect Bound and show you how it works. The other thing that I'll mention as I sign in is that we signed a deal with Simon Schuster last year to offer anybody using the platform distribution through Perfect Bound. That is a small publisher aggregator model where we are the point of contact with Simon Schuster, and all of our client publishers sit underneath the Perfect Bound account at Simon, which allows us to give superb service, metadata checks, making sure that books are up to SNS standards, and manage the entire sales process for our publishers. So this is our dummy account, which is based on some Ulysses Press books. And you can see that everything is presented. We call this the TurboTax of publishing, because if we dive into the details of this book, these are all of the metadata pieces for our title. Everything is heavily explained and takes you step by step through the metadata process. So this is what it looks like as you are setting up a title for feed out to, again, any distributor via Onyx. And again, everything is hyperlinked and called out. So you have the best possible information and all of the best practices for creating a book. And the reason that we wanted to build out a title management platform and a metadata management platform is for us, for Ulysses, we have over 1,000 titles. And historically, we have always used our distributor's system to feed out our metadata for those titles. And that meant that we did not own any of our own data. If you've ever gone through the process of transitioning from one distributor to another, you know how painful that can be. You have to get a big metadata dump, translate it into the new system for the new distributor, and it can take quite a while. So with this approach, you own all of your own data, And if you decide to switch distributors, all we have to do is change the direction of that Onyx feed from Simon & Schuster to Ingram or Ingram to PRH. Again, everything here is called out. These are Amazon's best practices for keywords. And I can move through all of the elements of the book process. Next up, after we do all of our title metadata, we can also host all of our covers, all of our interior files, sample material. We can ingest InDesign files. Everything can be held in one repository. After I've filled out all of my information about the title that's going to feed out to Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and other retailers, I can then move on to building out the print specs for my book. This allows me to either choose from a drop-down menu, or I can put in anything that I want. So let's do 125-pound paper, art quality. And this information is going to be saved indefinitely. I can use this for every initial printing and reprinting going forward. Again, we are calling out all of the best practices for printing. We are also explaining everything. So if you need to learn something about paperboard weight, that is available there. And we have trained it on all of the best practices and all of the information about printing a book. We also support every type of format. So whether you want to create a Chronicle style full color cookbook or a brand new Oracle deck, we have templates for all of those projects, in addition to custom projects where you can completely build it out yourself. This is going to take you through all of the printing specs and then the selling material, where your ISBN is on the book, what the price points are, and you can set price points for any country, and when the sales estimate date and pub date will be. And then finally, I can set this to feed publicly and then upload any of the files that I want to keep within the system. When I'm ready to start a print run, I can just go into Catan here. All of my print specs are previously registered. I also have a list of all of my previous printings. And when I'm ready to do a new print run, I will just hit new print run, put in the 4 quantities that I want quoted. I will fill out any carton restrictions. So if this is a reprint, I want to maintain the same carton and pallet quantities. Put in the shipping address. This is our Simon & Schuster warehouse that is preloaded. Decide if there are any additional shipping notes. So if I want to split a shipment between 2 distributors, or if I need to drop ship directly to a retailer, I can put that in. Our best practices for the Simon & Schuster shipments, these are their official guidelines, is preloaded and is sent to all of the printers that we work with. I can decide whether I want a digital proof or hard proof. If I'm working with a freight forwarder, all of that information can be supplied. This can also be defaulted within your publisher profile. I can determine what arrival date I want, whether my specs are flexible. So if Topan in China has is over capacity with a certain type of paper, and that's going to drop your print cost by 50 cents, they can note that to you and put that into their final bid. I can send any files that I want to the printer. So this could be the final production files, or it could be just the cover and some sample material. You can also send samples. So if you want to do a foil title or a spot gloss treatment, you can put in exactly what you want to see. It's going to auto-generate a bind order, which you can send to your distributor so they can track it. And then my favorite part, at the very end, you're going to see all of the printers that are available to you. And I can either check all of the 8 printers that can do this particular book. So these printers are auto filtered based on the requirements of the book. I can also choose different regions, so South America, Central America. I can choose all of our European publishers or all of our Asian publishers. And when I'm ready, I can just hit preview. And as soon as I hit submit, this is going to send the request for quote out to all of the different printers. When I get my bids back, they're all going to come in side by side. So if I come in and look at this particular project, all of the bids came in side by side so I can compare them in their aggregate cost. This includes freight. And I can then click into each individual bid, see the exact estimated press time, the estimated ship time, any extra notes that they have, and the payment terms that they are offering. Once I've accepted the printer that I want to work with, a little pop-up is going to come up and say, why did you select this printer? And it's up to you to give as much information as you want to back to the printers that both were accepted and rejected from the bid. And by getting that feedback, the printers are able to adjust their future pricing for your projects and other publishers' projects. And it's very valuable information for them in working with you in the future. That is going to then flow into our orders, and we're going to be able to see exactly where the book is through the process, when that payment is due. All of the information about the print job is registered there along with the previous submissions, and you'll be able to track the book from press all the way to the warehouse. The next piece I'll show you is our sales dashboard. So we have mapped this for any type of sales that you want to put in. At Ulysses, we have our Simon & Schuster distribution. We have KDP, LSI, Shopify, and Open Road. And the platform is pre-mapped, so all we have to do is take that raw CSV or Excel file, drop it into the import, drag and drop, and it will read it and then aggregate all of your sales across all of those distributors. I can then decide exactly how I want to look at these sales. So if I just want to look by title, I'm going to get all of the information by title. And then as I add in additional variables, it will begin to split out those sales pieces. And then all of this sales data flows into our royalty accounting software. So all of our projects are preloaded with the royalty specs. And when I'm ready, I can review all of my royalty statements, finalize them, and then send them directly out. This is what it looks like to put in the royalty information. So if I come to the title level, I see my authors, and I can create a royalty agreement for any contributor. You're going to start with all of the information about this particular author. I can drop in the tax documents directly here. So if there's a W-9, I can determine how they want to be paid, what their mailing address is, what their contact information is. All of this is very secure. I will then put in all of the contract information. So when did it start? Is there an end date? What do I want to withhold for royalties for potential future returns, and how long do I want to hold them? I will decide when the payment period is and how much of a lag there is. I can upload the contract directly here so that accounting and editors can see it together. I will then go into the formats, choose, this is a paper over board. We support every type of royalty calculation method, whether you're doing net revenue, net profit, or list price. We also have the ability to put in stepped royalties and discounted royalties. Then you will note the rights that you own for this project. And if I put in merchandise, this will pop up with a little field to determine what the royalty rate is there. If the book was previously published, you will put in the current contributor balance if they still owe their advance. And then finally, you will come into the review part. You can finalize this, and these royalty specs are going to be forever tied to that project. And this is what it looks like. See if this one has. Yeah, so then anybody can come in who has permission to review these royalty specs. All of the members on the platform are also visible. We do not care about disintermediation on the printing platform. We really just want independent publishers and printers to be able to get to know each other, work together, and optimize for the best partnerships based on the projects that you're working on. So you'll see all of their information, including contact information, is right here, along with their capabilities, where their plant locations are, websites. This is all of the material that we've provided from the vetting process. We can also message all of our printers directly on the platform. You can send files, you can keep in touch, and all of these messages are going to be tied to specific projects. And then the last piece I'll show you is the is the Perfect Bound marketplace with PubMatch. So what we've set up here is a global marketplace with over 1,000 publishers, agents, scouts, and foreign publishers using the platform. And if I want to buy rights to this book, all of the metadata that was in your previous the information that you've uploaded for the title management is going to auto-populate here. And a foreign publisher, or a scout, or an agent can come in and directly buy rights directly through the platform. They can choose what to offer, or you can set prices, which is very advantageous if you are trying to sell to small markets where you might just get a $500 advance. The faster and more efficient that process can be, the more you are going to net in the end. And I think that is it. I'm happy to take any questions, especially if anybody's interested in distribution. I'm happy to discuss that further as well.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. Yeah, there absolutely are some questions. So let me make sure to ask them. So the first one is about the printing. People want to know, how do you know which printer to choose if you don't have samples to see the quality of their work?
So we have vetted all of the printers. These are the best printers in the world. We have printers on all 6 continents, and we have limited it to the 65 that are currently on the platform. We have also done test runs with them, so we know the quality of their work. They are all very trustworthy. If you want to reach out and ask for samples, they will always send them to you. But you can rest assured that we have tested out all of these printers. We know what kind of equipment they're working on. We have checked their G7 certificates. It's going to auto filter based on your needs. So if you're doing a paper over board hardcover with all sorts of bells and whistles, you are not going to see the printers that are not capable of doing that.
Huh? And people are asking also, are publishers given the reason for a printer rejection? For example, if a printer doesn't have a stock of paper or can't meet a deadline, stuff
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah, so the same type of process that you send to the printer, the same feedback you send to the printer, they will send to you if they are not able to do your project.
Okay. And so one thing also kind of like a general concept is some people are wondering about who has access to Perfect Bound. So for example, we know IBPA has large independent publishers, so they're small, medium, but then we also have author publishers. So who are all the people that can or should even use Perfect Bound?
Yeah, it's wide open to everybody. The distribution piece does require an application process. We just want to know that this is going to be a good fit for Simon and Schuster, for their sales team, and we will help you through that process. But we have clients using the platform that just have one book that they wanted to get into the broader market through Simon and Schuster. So this, to me, is a perfect next step if you are moving from using Ingram and KDP and you want to get into Barnes and Noble and the market accounts. This is the best way to do it, and you can start with a single title. It doesn't have to be a full catalog of books.
Okay. And then someone said, do authors have access to the royalty data?
We are working on that. So we're building out a author portal for all of the authors. This is what we use for Ulysses, She Writes, Fellow, and Trafalgar. So it is very important to be able to give as much information as you want to your authors. We give the ability to gatekeep whatever information you don't want to share, but you can share as much as you want. So that sales dashboard that I showed you is what we are building the author portal onto. So they will be able to go in, filter their own results, look at sales over time, and you will have the control over just how much information they're able to see.
Okay. And then people are wondering about returns. So is that something that's part of your process? Do you all handle returns or how does all that work?
Yeah, I mean, returns is the bane of my existence. And it is something to be very aware of if you are moving from POD to offset and distribution. Those return rates can be as high as 25% for traditional retail. And then with mass market, it can be well over 50%. So those are big decisions to make. Uh, the other warning that I will say with returns is Simon and Schuster's go-to is to destroy returns. A lot of times, especially from the mass market, they have taken all of those books out of the carton and they have stickered them, which makes them unusable in the future. So returns is always a concern, and we are here to help you mitigate that risk as a client publisher.
Okay. And then some people are wondering, so Perfect Bound's helping to put printers and publishers together is it to negotiate a better deal or it's just kind of like you get to kind of see it all in one place because they're wondering how it compares to some other like printing places like they specifically said Amazon, but there's tons of printers.
Yeah. So the goal for us is really to just make a market where you can meet and work with printers. When we started using Perfect Bound at Ulysses, we had gone through 15 years of our print pricing going up while our list prices remained completely flat. So we saw a 75% increase in the median unit cost over 15 years from 2010 to about 2022. So I guess it was 12 years. And during that period, our list prices went up 3%, our median list price. And when we started using Perfect Bound, what we found was the printers really like it because it opens up a lot of new potential customers to them. They can establish relationships with you offline, and they have a lot more quantity of projects to bid on. But the result of it has been that it has put more pressure and more competition on the printing process. So what we saw at Ulysses is our first year of using it, our median unit cost dropped 18% year over year for full color paper over board, and our black and white dropped about 9%. So it was the first time in 12 or 13 years that our unit costs started to go back down, which was huge. So again, we do not take anything from the printing marketplace. If you just want to use the printing marketplace, it is $30 a month. With the IBPA discount, it's $15 a month. And we do not charge the printers anything. We do not take a cut of the print job. Our intention is just to make it a lot easier to send out requests for quotes to as many printers as you want so that you get a good understanding of what good pricing is for the project that you're working on.
Yeah, and I do want to make sure I know you just mentioned the 50%, but yes, IBPA members on your various different services get a 50%, 50, which is quite a discount. I put the link in the chat as well. But I want to make sure that we get to some other questions too. People are asking, you have multiple places where you mentioned the pricing for a job where you can get like different quantities, but they're wondering, can you get the pricing broken out for various papers, trim sizes, cover treatments? Are there other ways that it can be broken down?
Yeah, so you can ask for whatever you want from the printer. Right now we have it set up so this is what I want. Can you give me a price on this? But what we see a lot of times with our clients is they will get that initial price and then start working with the printer that they think they're going to end up going with to flesh out any additional pricing for, what does it mean if we add another 8 pages? What does it mean if we want to change the end paper to, fully printed instead of one color? So that can all be done after the initial bidding process. You are going to pay your bill directly to the printer. We do not get in the way of that. We just want to be able to set up reminders for you. But anything that you want to negotiate with the printer, you can do just like normal.
And there are obviously many different services, so it sounds like this is the case. People can get a la carte, right? So, for example, you have like title management, but if let's say you don't do the title management, you can still use y'all's just the printing aspect where to help find a printer, right? Or how does all that work?
Yeah, absolutely. So everything on the platform is a la carte. If you want to use just the royalties, we have pricing for that. If you want the full package, that is a discounted price. If you just want to use it for printing, that is just, as I said, $30 a month or $15 a month with the 50% discount. Our intention is to provide you with the tools that you need and want, not the tools that you are already using somewhere else. And our hope is that you come in for printing, love the user experience, and stay for all of the rest of it.
Yeah, because someone might already have title management somewhere else.
Yeah.
How difficult is that process to take, like you were saying, it's can be a little complicated to take all that metadata, all that, and then switch it over to y'all's services?
Very simple. So we just take an Onyx feed in from a distributor, or we can upload an Excel or CSV file, and then it auto-populates all of that information. It's a very simple process for us. And then you own all of that data going forward. You can send it wherever you'd like. So if you end up with an Edelweiss account and want to populate Edelweiss, we can Onyx feed all of that directly to them.
And someone's asking about the royalties, so it sounds like they're calculated on the site and they can download a statement directly from Perfect Bound.
Yeah, so you can basically it's going to show you the royalties that you've accrued in aggregate over a particular period, so you know exactly what you're going to need to pay at the end of the period. And if you have, for Ulysses, we send out about 700 statements each period. We can very quickly review all of those statements and then finalize them. And then the next step for us on the engineering side is we are building out automatic emails to all of the authors that you have finalized your statements for. So they will receive those as soon as you have finalized the statement and hit send.
And then some people are wondering about, you know how like with bookstores, some sites require like a certain like discount that they give bookstores. On Perfect Bound, is there like a requirement to do a like a certain amount or anything like that?
No, we are just supporting the metadata. We are not supporting any specific discounting or the type of information that would go through your distributor or through your own payment systems.
Okay. Yeah, so that's kind of the printing and some of the other services, but of course people are having questions about the distribution. So one thing I wanted to help you can help clarify is the concept of like, traditional distribution where obviously places like Simon and Schuster and PRH, but Ingram, Consortium, IPG, like that's traditional distribution where they have like a team selling the books to the trade. So I know, but you can probably clarify, but I know that like you all can possibly have publishers sign up for that, but explain like, they can use your services, but does it necessarily mean that like how is the process of getting accepted for the traditional distribution aspect versus having services, but it's not that they're getting like sold to the trade market?
So the distribution is full distribution through Simon and Schuster. It is with their sales team. We attend sales conference every season on behalf of our clients. We present their books. The sales team at Simon and Schuster sells them into the trade, and it also includes obviously warehousing and fulfillment, pick, pack, and ship. So it is full service distribution. It can be, again, an entire catalog, or if you have a few titles that you want to get into the broader trade, you can sign up just for those catalogs. And as a distribution client, you are essentially becoming in the eyes of Simon and Schuster, an imprint of Perfect Bound. So we manage all of the feeds, we manage all of the information that goes into Simon and Schuster, the title, cover uploads, as well as all of the metadata and feedback to you, the information that they've given us, whether that is suggestions on changing cover design, all the way to what inventory you need to be maintaining within the warehouse.
And how does that work? Let's say someone were to apply today, like what's that process? Kind of walk people through that in terms of being accepted, the application process, things like that.
Yeah, so our team here reviews all of the applications. We accept a number of publishers for each season. Obviously, the publishing schedule at a traditional distributor is pretty long. So right now we are getting ready to review the publishers that have applied for spring of 2026, and that will close within the next couple of weeks, and then we'll move on to summer of 2026. So there is quite a bit of lag there, but it gives us time to get you set up on the Simon and Schuster systems, get Simon and Schuster aware of any backlist that you're bringing in, and then ample time to prepare for the sales material for that initial season.
Okay. And then someone's wondering with the distribution, does Perfect Bound have on your like a team that's like a sales force, or is it specifically just through Simon and Schuster? They're trying to figure out how that process works.
So consider Perfect Bound the client of Simon and Schuster. So our team here manages all of our clients. We do the vetting of books, we give recommendations, we help with metadata. The Simon and Schuster team is the team that sells the books. So we are just acting essentially as a distribution client of Simon and Schuster. But what we're providing for Simon is we are able to aggregate smaller publishers that otherwise wouldn't be able to get a deal with Simon and Schuster. Those clients get our deal with Simon and Schuster. We've been with them for over half a decade. They know us very well. When we go into sales conference, it is me doing the presentation for the sales team. And by doing that for Simon and Schuster, they are able to distribute more books because they don't have to allocate additional resources to every individual publishing client. So that is the approach that we're taking, but it is Simon and Schuster's sales team doing the selling. We also have our own Edelweiss account, so our client publishers' titles will be populated there as well.
When people aren't accepted for distribution, one of the things that happens is they wonder why. So if someone weren't to be accepted, and look, I know you're very busy, so you might not be able to, but are there sometimes times when then someone says, "Hey, why wasn't I accepted?" Where you're able to tell them, "Well, here's ABC reason why. If you whatever do these things, you might have a chance." Do you help people out with things like that?
Absolutely. We have a conversation with every person who has applied for distribution. At this point, the main reason for not being able to bring them in for distribution is just bandwidth. We have a small team, and we need to be able to ensure that we're going to give as much attention to each of the clients as possible. But we do not care about the size of the client. It is really about the quality of the projects and their ability to match what Simon and Schuster would expect of our list.
And is this just for US distribution or is this an
No,
internal?
it's global.
Oh, okay. Because some people were wondering, how that, but basically, if they were accepted, then it's the global. Okay, good to know. And some people were wondering about the sales feed. It does your sales feed data directly go to Perfect Bound, or does it have to be manually uploaded in an Excel sheet or a CSV periodically?
So initially, it will be ingested via CSV file. We need to get all of your historical data. And then in terms of automated processes, it really depends on the distributor that you're using and what they're capable of doing. For a lot of the distributors that we work with, their only method at this point is to send CSV files. For a number of our clients, we just have those distributors send those files directly to us, and we can ingest them on a daily, weekly, or monthly basis. But we also are not going to have access to your Shopify account. Shopify sales have to be downloaded via CSV, and you as the publisher would just drop that in and upload it. We do also offer full publishing operations services. So if you are no longer wanting to do your own royalties and sales tracking and printing, we offer that as well. So it's basically having a fractional employee who does all of your publishing operations.
Okay. And then some people are wondering, does Simon & Schuster through Perfect Bound accept publisher partners who want to issue their books only as non-returnable books printed on demand?
No.
Okay. That's a straight answer. Okay. So someone else is wondering, you're handling a lot of proprietary information. They're wondering in terms of all the security measures y'all have in place on the site.
Yeah, so this is above my pay grade. This is the CTO, but when we first built the printing marketplace, we partnered with a firm called Vimbly, the Vimbly Group. They own and operate 12 different SaaS platforms across all types of industries. So they are very adept at putting in the most up-to-date security protocols. Otherwise, we would not be able to host sensitive information like tax documents on the platform. So it is highly protected. Everything is hosted on AWS, and and you can feel very secure that there's no information that is going to get out. You are also the only one who is going to have access to all of your data. We do not go in and check all of that information without previous approval. And our engineering team and dev team handles all of the data for the data warehousing.
Okay. And some people are asking specifics. This is not on your end, actually, it's on ours, how to access the benefit. So I just want to make sure everyone knows. There's a main page, which is the main benefit page, but then at the bottom of that page, there is a link that says, how to access this IBPA member benefit. When you click there, there's instructions about how to access it. And someone's asking if they need the IBPA number. What you need, and it actually walks you through step by step, what you need is the URL for your member account. So it goes through one by one where you find that URL in your account. If you're still having trouble, you're welcome to email me or one of the staff members, but it's all explained there on the members only page.
And
Okay.
I can actually pull this up real quick so you can see it.
Oh, I
Um,
want, this is some non-members are here, so I want, if you're going to share the members only, oh, go
no,
ahead.
no, no. It's based on your specific information.
Okay.
So if you come into Ulysses Press, this is all of our company information. I can see my subscription, billing information. You're going to have your distributor information, as well as defaults for royalties, etc. And if I am to apply for IBPA, all I have to do is fill this item out with your hyperlink. We are going to check that that link is active and that you are a member in good standing, and then it will apply that 50% discount. And we are going to be sunsetting the 50% discount at the end of May. It'll become a 10% discount going forward, but anybody who signs up for the platform will be grandfathered in with that 50% discount if they sign up before May 31st.
We'll get signing up, people. That's quite the change in the benefits. So I'd say sign up sooner than later. Okay, well, this was very informative. If people have other questions, we're getting to the end of the time. You can always reach out to the Perfect Bound team. I don't know which email address you want to share, Keith, but I know you have a team of people that can answer tons of questions. So how do they reach you?
Yeah, so the best way to reach us is to go on to perfectbound.io. We have several blocks in there for requesting a demo. We found the best process is for you to get a custom demo from our team, which includes Claire Davy and Wang. And you can also just email us at any time at info@perfectbound.io.
Great. Oh, one last question. So people are wondering, do you all manage ebooks in any way?
Yep.
Yep.
Ebooks, audio, the full thing. We can host all of that data. We can host all of those files, and we have full metadata feeds for ebooks, audiobooks, and everything in between.
Great. And yes, you all will be at IBPA Publishing University this year, so that people can talk to your team and get some more information there as well.
Yes, absolutely. We will be there and delighted to talk.
Great. Keith, this is very helpful. Thank you so much for offering this as an option for members. I know a lot of publishers out there have a lot of difficulty with all these things, and you yourself are a publisher, so you went through all this, and that's why you created this. So I know it's helpful to have it from that perspective. So thank you for creating all this.
Yeah, my pleasure. Yeah, it's what we wanted and we built it, and hopefully it can help everybody else.
Awesome. All right. Well, thanks everyone. Appreciate it. Appreciate you for being a member, and I hope you have a wonderful day.
Thanks all.